How are you feeling physically after, what you went through at the end of last year?
I feel great.
Can you be any more specific about what actually was bothering you, and was it two different things?
It was more than two different things. I mean, I had some complications with the foot, with the knee, with the shoulder, but I mean, that's football. Kind of just wore down a little bit at the end of the year, and that's why I got to work out a little hard in this off-season program to make sure that doesn't happen next year.
Still no surgeries have taken place and none planned?
None.
How would you describe your strength at this point?
Well, I just got to squat about 400 pounds, so I'm feeling pretty good.
With the additions of the defensive linemen, free agents, plus OC coming back, I mean, that should take a little bit of the pressure and the wear and tear off of you, shouldn't it?
It should, and I think that's basically what Jerry's, what he wanted to do with those two pickups we got to add depth to this D line, and obviously it's good for our D line because we was a pretty formidable group before these two signings, but now I think it definitely puts us up there as far as one definitely the elite or close to the elite D line in the country.
Did you learn anything about yourself, Justin, from the start of last year to the end, and how difficult it was to truly be in that, full-time role, taking over for Michael?
Obviously, having the opportunity, play with Michael the years before he retired, it gave me a kind of an insight as far as what it took to play a whole year with double teams and sometimes triple teams, and you kind of being the focal point. And once OC went down, I guess that kind of catapulted me into that role, and I learned that it's tough. Sometimes things are not going to go your way, but I think I grew a lot as a player and learned a lot of things that hopefully I can use this year to make me a better player.
Justin, were you surprised a little bit when, in free agency, the team went so hard for defensive linemen, obviously, bringing in a fairly high-profile guy like Canty and also Rocky Bernard, and, you knew OC's coming back, that there's such an emphasis on bolstering that line?
Well, it was a little surprising. Obviously, considering that our D-line has been a pretty good, unit for a long time. But I understand why it happened. I think it's a good move, and hopefully, it's something that will just make this line stronger. If you look at it when we was in the Super Bowl, the run, I don't think anybody can deny that one of the reasons why we had that run was because the dominant play of our D-line. So we're trying to get back to that point, and I think, adding these two additions to our line definitely puts us headed towards that direction. But
Do you know those guys?
If you add it, it's 3 additions if you add OC. So I do not. Me and Canty came out the same year, so I had some run-ins with him. But other than playing against the guys, I really don't know.
Was it important that those guys showed up here today for the first day?
I think so. But I think it's important for everybody to show up. So I don't want to single them out, but I think it was. And, they still have a lot to learn, new system, new guys. It's good to come in first day and definitely, get a face with the name and try to start the process as far as becoming, great teammates.
Justin, in the time that you've been in the NFL, have you been able to determine if a very good off-season program does translate into a very good season?
Not really. It's been some years where I didn't go out and work as hard as I should and had a pretty good year. I think last year I didn't work out as hard as I should and had a pretty good year. But it's also been years, where I worked my butt off But obviously, I think you definitely got to put the work in to even have a shot, though. So for me personally, I'm going to take my chances from here on out, working my butt off and making sure that, I do all my just dues to come in and be the best player I can be.
You said last year you didn't work as hard as you should have. At the time that the off-season program was going on, did you think you were working as hard? Because a lot of Super Bowl champs have that kind of a false sense of, okay, I am working hard, but then in retrospect they realized that they weren't.
Honestly, my prerogative as far as last year was, having that long season. I really wanted to take some time to really rest and let my body heal, because you play in February. That can be a short break. So sometimes you really don't allow yourself to really rest up and get healed. And I just feel like the reason why I said I didn't work as hard is I feel like I waited a little too long to really get serious about my working out.
You feel like you're the team to beat this year?
I always feel that way. But to answer your question, yes, I do.
Why so, in your mind?
Well, just obviously the players we have, the coaching staff, the experience. We've been there and done it. We know what it takes to get there, and I think no one can deny that the team we had last year was headed that way. Really, some injuries here and there, and some distractions here and there, but all this happens for a reason. You can't never say if and maybe this, but just looking at it, obviously, no one has even started working out really hard, but on paper, I think the team to beat is definitely